There seems to be a lot of downward pressure on crypto right now, most of it caused by Bitcoin. And I think we're going to see that reflected in these upcoming charts on VET. What I've got in front of you now is the daily chart on VET, and I want to talk about the downward pressure we are experiencing on VeChain and across crypto in general. To start with, I want to look at the trading view. It's one of my favorite tools that I like to use. It's their technical analysis. It just kind of helps me get a temperature of the market. So here we are, the VET technical analysis. We're going to look on the 1 day. They're showing a neutral indication. Oscillators are neutral, moving averages are sell. On the longer term, we see a buy. Oscillators are neutral, moving average is a strong buy. And on the month, we see a buy with oscillators a buy and moving averages a buy. Okay, so that's kind of where the market is as far as the technical analysis from TradingView. Before we get into the daily, let's go out and to look at the weekly. Of course, we had this fantastic run up starting about in October, about 0.015. We since went up and hit a top of somewhere around 0.039. We didn't quite hit the 0.04, but we didn't come far from it. So VET in the last 2.5 months has gone up 2.5 times. And it's just natural that we're giving some of those gains back, which we are seeing right now happening in January. It's just going to happen, okay? After you see a big run up in crypto or any financial instrument, a quick run up, you're going to have to endure the gains coming back down and retracement correction, whatever term you want to call it. That's what we're experiencing right now in VET and across crypto. To be clear, everything I'm about to talk about in this video right now is over the short term. That's over the next couple of weeks. Long term, I am 100% bullish VET. I am 100% bullish crypto, Bitcoin, everything. I hold VET. I'm ready for a fantastic year in 2024. I am going to, however, look at the daily activity that's coming up here, and let's see if we can decipher this pressure that I'm seeing. When price was up above 0.034 and was making this magnificent run trying to hit 0.04 back in December, we saw, and I noted this line right here of 0.033 to 0.035. That was a strong level on this chart. You could see because every time the market went into that level, it got bought up. All these wicks, all these bottoms right here, it kept getting bought up. It was concerning that this level had been hit so many times. It's kind of like when you kick a door so many times, eventually it's going to break. That's kind of what happens with levels like this. Once they're hit so many times, you have to assume, goodness, at some point it's going to break, and it did. This day right here on January 3rd was this Bitcoin flush that I've mentioned on several videos, where the false rumor came out that the ETFs were going to be denied by the SEC, and that caused Bitcoin to fall, and this was the result in VET. It brought us down below these levels right here. Ever since then, this 0.033 to 0.035 has acted as resistance. We've only hit it once and have since fallen back down to around 0.03. I'm going to zoom out to the weekly and talk about this blue line right here. It is a downward trend line, which has actually behaved very well. The market has respected it well. It's back from August 2022, February 23. You can see the highs that it's drawn on. And if I zoom in on the day, here's the line. The blue line still there. It's just on the daily time frame. It intersects very nicely to where we are right now, which also happens to intersect very nicely to this 0.03 level. Now, this 0.03 level is a nice round number. Humans like round numbers. We gravitate toward them because it makes more sense to our minds. Algorithms know that's how humans trade, so they're programmed around that. So this 0.03 is a very interesting level for the next little while for VET. Is it going to hold and are we going to shoot up further, or is it going to fail and are we going to fall down? That is the question we're trying to answer. My guess is 0.03 will be given up here soon, and we'll find ourselves in this level right here between 0.027 and 0.03. The reason I think that is twofold. Well, it's actually one reason. You just see it on different ways in the charts. Let's see. Do I want to show you the VET way or the Bitcoin way? Let me talk Bitcoin real quick, and then I'll come back to VET. The reason I see us falling in VET is because I see us falling in Bitcoin. We've been in this upward rising channel since December. This is the post ETF high right here. And ever since the ETFs have been approved, Bitcoin has suffered profit taking, moving monies around, whatever you want to call it. And we've fallen down to as low as 41.5 at some point. I'm thinking that we're eventually going to fall out of the bottom of this channel and tag 40,000. Does that mean we'll stay at 40,000? I don't know. Does that mean we'll go below 40,000? Some people are calling for that. Some people are calling for us to fall into this 34 to 38,000 range and to stay there for the next few weeks / months, build a nice solid base while we wait for the halving of the Bitcoin coming up in April, and then moving on to higher highs in Bitcoin. That makes sense to me. Now, will we do it? I don't know. But it does make sense because look at Bitcoin. After this run up we've had since really all of 2023, from a low of about 16,000 back there, we really haven't breathed much at all. And we certainly haven't breathed since this run up started in October. So when you zoom out, this, well, it doesn't really matter how you look at it. It's just falling prices from a correction retracement, whatever you want to call it, from a magnificent move. There's nothing to complain about, nothing to get antsy about. Price even falling down into 34 and 30 into these levels is still perfect market consolidation and market movement. That would still be a higher high, a higher low, and a higher high. So that looks 100% doable to me, and that's what many are calling for, many that are smarter than me. And if that's going to happen, that's going to cause us to land below this channel into 40,000. It could do something like this first, up to 44, 45, and then land there. But you got to admit, that's not unreasonable. That's a pretty reasonable prognostication. We'll see if that happens. But if it does, I'm also seeing the same thing on VET as well. It's kind of hard to see because this chart's getting a little crowded. Let me remove that and let's look at this. I'm seeing this across a lot of coins. It's these lower highs, something like that. See how that's drawn? See how it's indicating these lower highs right here? I just did a video on Solana. You can see the same thing. See these lower highs right here? I'm gonna get rid of this one. See the lower highs? I'm about to do a video on ADA. Also, lower highs. So we're seeing that across a lot of the coins right here. That's just the way the coins are behaving. We're seeing lower highs, and that's what I mean by the downward pressure in VET. It just appears to me like we're going to end up perhaps coming up and touching this line, but maybe not even that. I think we're going to end up at around this 0.027 before too long. I think when Bitcoin falls below 42,000 for good and tags 40,000, that's what VET is going to do. It's going to end up down here at this 0.027. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. That would still be perfect price action, perfect recovery, pullback, correction, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely just fine. I wouldn't blink an eye really, even if we hit 0.024. I don't know that we will, but I wouldn't blink an eye if we did, because as long as we don't go below that and start getting into this mess right here, then that's still setting us up for a nice move up, no matter how long we have to wait. And I don't know how long we'll have to wait. I can't time the market. I'm not good at timing the market. I'm pretty bad at that actually, which is why I am a long-term holder. But this is what I'm seeing in VET. Now, what I don't think we're going to see is what I see on Twitter. I just saw it not long ago. Somebody saying, hey, they kind of had a similar line to this. Actually, it was a different line, but it was a downtrend line on top. And they said, hey, if we can break this, then we're going to 3 to 4 times in the next few weeks, and we're going to be up around 0.1. We're not going to be up around 0.1 in VET in the next, 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months. We've got to take some time. This is big financial stuff now. These aren't cheap coins we're talking about that can go up 1,000% or even 10% in a month anymore. It's difficult for these price movements to make big moves because there's so much money involved now. And so we're going to have quieter moves. Now, long term, will we be up nicely in VET? I do believe so. I'm looking for great gains in VET, but short term, I got to see. I'm looking at some pressure here, and a lot of it's going to depend on what can Bitcoin do. I mean, even right now, I've kind of got this level right here at 41.5 that Bitcoin's been wrestling with. So got a bottom there, a bottom there, a bottom there. If we give that up, 40,000 is going to be there. And that'll drag VET down a bit. But again, long term, everything's 100% fine. Hold your VET if you're in it. Pick up some more if you want. If we start seeing some of these lows, it'll be a great opportunity at the end of 2024. I firmly believe we'll look back at this 0.03 level and say, man, I wish I'd have gotten even more of that, because that would have been a great deal at that time. All right, I'll keep you updated. Y'all be sure to check back in. Take care.